Welcome to Herlefeld for Farming Simulator 2011, created by SourceWorks and Desperados93. Well, hello everybody. Here we are back on Herlefeld. We're just getting ready here. I'm getting set up to chop some corn. We are, we're in the northwest quadrant of the map, I believe. And I think I'm finished doing all the corn over on the east side, and that's kind of where I started, the northeast side, if you will. And there was a field over there that was just a booger to try to do with the corn chopper here, and I think in the future I'm just not going to plant it to corn, or I will just combine it instead. The bugaboo, of course, is dealing with the fences that were around, let's see, 4 sides of it. They had some area open, kind of in some trees, but as I've explained before, I've already removed the collisions on all the trees, so I was able to turn around in there. I don't like doing that, but sometimes don't feel I have any choice. But it was just hard, when we have the mod in here now that will leave wheel tracks in the crop, so everywhere I go in the crop I'm running it over, so that tends to frustrate me. So I finally got tired of trying to work around that, if you will, and I just ended up combining the rest of it. Or, well, I don't know if I finished it yet. That's kind of what my plan is. I was pretty much planning just to chop all the corn, but I didn't realize it would be so landlocked or fence locked, in that particular field. This one here, that we're chopping in is perfect really for it, because there's just no objects really for it to run into, although I think there is a fence maybe over on the east side of the field. I don't recall exactly, but anyway, suffice it to say, that's what we're doing. I'm hauling it all to the BGA. And I think in this episode I end up filling a bunker. I'm kind of doing a voiceover here now. I think we end up filling a bunker and blanketing the top, or whatever you call it. And I'm still kind of curious to see just how that all works, and to see how comparable it is to the Giants DLC. Which of course when you blanketed it made you, you more than blanket it. I think you had to compress it. And this one here, I don't think, I think it let me just blanket it. I don't remember having to compress it at all, like you would in real life. So, anyway, that's still to be figured out. But on this episode, I wanted to continue with the pages of comments that are on this map on Modhoster. And speaking of Modhoster, I have heard, and the little bit I've logged on there here of late, it is way different than it was. Well, I say way different. The interface is still similar or whatever, but I got on there and it requested, that you turn off your ad blocker or whatever, so, which I did. I'm happy to do that on websites that have content I'd like to support. But for the life of me, it wouldn't let me download anything. It kept telling me, it was one of those, where it just says your ad blocker is on. And it's like, no, it's not. I mean, it's off. And so the only option it gave me was, well, if you want to do anything here, you have to pay. I think there are types of accounts you can pay to be part of. And I get it. I mean, these sites, and I do appreciate Modhoster. They're one of the very few in the world still hosting a lot of Farm Sim 11 mods, and some of the mods, for the older versions of the game. So there's been so many sites over the years that have died. It's kind of nice to have one that's still kind of hanging on. And, to host mods and that kind of thing, it costs money. And, the only way they can make money is either by charging us, which is to be avoided if possible, or by running ads. So But anyway, something there is going on, and I need to figure out how I can use it, kind of like I have in the past. I guess the other reason I'd like to use it is, I got mods, that I'd like to post. Oh, and speaking of that, I've continued work, and maybe at some point I'll try to showcase it here. Continued work on a mod that in the old versions would force the player to have to plow. And I was thinking at some point maybe I could take it clear back even to FarmSim 09. But if you'll recall, FarmSim 09, the plow and the cultivator both behaved exactly the same in the field. So there really wouldn't be any point of applying this mod unless there was a way to turn off the ability of the cultivators to do, basically what the plow does. So, but in FarmSim 11, I believe the cultivator pretty much stayed inside the field boundary, and if you wanted to expand the field, you had to dig out the plow. So what this mod is doing is putting spots in the field that force you to dig out a plow or the equivalent in order to turn that into soil that can be planted again. So I have it working in both FarmSim 11 and FarmSim 15. Hope to release it at some point, maybe even on Modhoster if they'll let me in the door to get it on there. So anyhow, I wanted to get to the comments to try to keep clipping through them. It's just fascinating to me to read them on the Herlefeld app as to what people said back in the day when it was released. Alright, so John Deere 1640 says, oh yeah, here are the add-ons, and then there's a couple links that are there. That's kind of handy, because initially I don't think it was up in the description, so it's kind of nice to have someone. That's a helpful comment. So many people were asking where to find the add-ons, the BGA. Yeah, that seems to be the one that they have on here is a BGA. 2 links. Oh, it's the same thing. Yeah, it'd have been nice if they had links also to the Audubon and everything else, but oh well. Alright, someone asks what fruits are on the map. Nobody answered. It's just the standard fruits. Another comment. I also think the map is great. In my opinion, still the best for farming sim. I've been playing it exclusively since it came out. I especially like the manure and slurry textures. I just tend to get stuck on some of the paths with fences. Otherwise, it's truly the best map. That's a nice, encouraging comment. Best map ever, someone says. 6 out of 5 points. Kudos to the modder. Make more like this. Yeah, with that kind of encouragement, they probably will. Let's see. Once I buy cows and leave the shop, I can neither re-enter the shop nor exit the game using the escape key. What's the reason for this? Oh, you, my friend, probably have a mod conflict that is recurring in the log, and you probably haven't noticed, but you probably couldn't do anything else either once you have a conflict like that. One of those terrible ones that just prints stuff to the log over and over and over. Another one asks, is it also suitable for low-end PCs? Definitely would be. How do I get the BGA onto the map but still want a great map? Answer via PM, please. Well, hopefully somebody answered him with a PM. Yeah, it's need to read the instructions. Of course, maybe the initial listing didn't have the instructions. And I gotta say, there are a fair number of listings on Modhoster that are just that. Well, and it isn't just Modhoster, it's anywhere and everywhere, where someone will post a mod and the description will be all but empty. I mean, there's nothing, saying what is what or who done it or what it's about, and sometimes there's not even any pictures. And I don't know why someone would ever post a map and, for example, not at the very least, show a PDA map, just so you can kind of see the layout. But there are lots who don't. Where is the BGA on the map? Well, there's another person, all they're seeing is a sawmill, so they either don't have the add-on or it isn't working. How do... this person, totally unrelated question. How do I unzip a file on Windows 7 PC? Well, nowadays, I think Windows will unzip it for you. Maybe back in the days of Windows 7. Oh, I thought it was the same end too. Yeah, maybe needed WinZip. Awesome app. It's just a shame that 3 fields have been mowed and the grass doesn't grow there. Yeah, no, we've talked about the app before. Might have just been an oversight. But hey, you can always go plant it yourself. So I still haven't made up my mind. I know that's something that needs fixing eventually in the map. Don't know if I'll just drag it into the editor or dig out the drill. We'll figure it out. Hey guys, I've been playing on this map for a long time, but I'm wondering how to get the manure pit like in the video. It's not there for me. It would be great if someone could help me as soon as possible. I'm not sure what he's referring to. I never looked at the videos when I took on this map. Is a V3 coming out? That would be awesome. I think a V3 eventually did come out. This must be accumulating comments from every single version of the map. Either that or the fella published one on the wrong page, because this was for V3. This is the map for Farming Sim 11. There is no better map than Herlefeld. It is a good looking map. I tend to agree with that. Oh yeah, see, I'm kind of cutting silage here along. I think there is a fence in there somewheres. So yeah, it's definitely a good looking map. I'm no denying it. Let's see, next comment. Where and how can I get seeds? It's not working on the farm. Sorry for the bad German, I'm Dutch. And here I said reading this in English. Well, the seeds work for me. I have no idea why they wouldn't work for someone else. Yeah, they're just on the farm. And yeah, work great. Otherwise, probably need a mod to get them. A V3 would be amazing. It wouldn't even need much. Just combine a few fields, fix the invisible collisions, and maybe add 1 or 2 more dealers. Otherwise, it's the best map in Farming Simulator. 12 out of 10 stars. Kudos and thanks to the modder. Yeah, well, like we've said, this one is V3. Combine a few fields, fix the invisible collisions. You know, I don't think they are invisible collisions. Now, having a little experience in it, I think it's the trees. You know, so many people complained also about the trees and said, well, there were certain pathways they couldn't drive through very easily, and it was the trees reaching and grabbing them. But it probably seems invisible because you couldn't really see, you know, the edge of the tree. The collision is always something different, usually, than the actual model itself. The collisions tend to be blocky shapes, whereas the model, the specific leaves of the tree, if you will, would be separate from the collision. So yeah, maybe there was nothing, you know, when you ran into it and it appeared invisible, but I think it's part of the trees. That's what was going on. Let's see, which shovel can I use to remove the manure? The one I have isn't working. I would also add some reeds or something similar. Huh. I don't know what that person means. Reeds, maybe around the water? I know they had some lily pads, or I thought they did on the pond. Maybe they want reeds too. The gates won't open. Can someone help me? Yeah, there's been a lot of people that have trouble with the gates. They just need the right script. Can someone help me figure out how to get the biogas plant and not the lumber yard? Yeah, we should be having a running total of all those. There's been a lot of questions about that. Tell me the biogas plant is being removed later and a wood storage facility is now standing there. How can this be reversed? I'm waiting for an answer. Please send it via message. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes folks can be pretty demanding on here, but I don't know that I can blame them. You know, it's ideally when you get a mod, it is plug and play. Most of us can figure out where the mods folder is. It's just nice when it works. And I think maybe this came in before they had all the links to the add-on mods. If the app is even half as good as a video, then hats off to them. I'm downloading it right now and super excited. Well, wonderful. Glad you are excited. The app is absolutely fantastic. Huge kudos to the modder, which makes sense since it comes from Desperados. Yeah, so Desperados, at least back then, I don't know if he's still active in the modding community, you know, more recently, but evidently a prominent modder. Good for him. I spread manure on the field. I went over with a cultivator, but the manure textures remain. Is that normal, or am I missing a mod? Probably not missing a mod. I know we talked about that in a previous episode, but there was a problem with the mod. I remember encountering it on the Feldy map, you know, where the cultivator and plow weren't taking out the textures for the manure and the slurry until we fixed them. So this person probably needs that fix. Hey, map is great, but I have a problem. Even though I have all 3 DLC packs, I don't have a biogas plant. Why? Well, friend, it's because you didn't read the instructions. This particular biogas plant isn't run by the DLC, it's a mod add-on. The map has 2 invisible obstacles. I've uploaded a picture. Would be great if this could be fixed. And we kind of talked about that a little bit ago. I have a feeling there's way more than just 2 so-called invisible obstacles. Hi everyone, I have a small problem. When I drive into the silos, I can't unload, and they're already completely full when I start the game from scratch. Huh? Well, that's a new one. I don't remember seeing that comment before. That's kind of bizarre. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one. I know for me it worked. I could take it in there and dump it off. I don't know what in the world would cause them to be full. Usually you'd need to have a script or something to fill up those silos, you know, at the start of the game. Let's see, an ice map in terms of style, everything works fine, including the highway, manure, slurry, etc. However, there is a bug. There are no cows in the pasture. The milk tank is full, and the milk tank drives by, but doesn't pump anything out. Can anyone help me with this? No cows. You know, this is something I still need to figure out. Eventually, at some point, I'm going to get some cows, and we'll see if they appear, you know, in my game session. The milk tank is full. Now, that's interesting that it isn't coming out. My understanding of the milk truck isn't that it comes to pump the milk out literally, you know, on the farm, or like you would if you were taking slurry out of the tank or something, but rather that the milk will be sold, I think, at midnight or whenever it does it, just by the function of the game engine itself. I think all the milk truck is just decoration. I could be wrong on that, but that's my understanding. My game keeps lagging, especially when I drive from the trader to the farm. Why is this happening? Well, when you get a good looking map and loads of collisions, yeah, it's going to probably make things a little choppy in performance if you have a weak computer, kind of like I do. That's what I've noticed too, so I've tried to help myself. There is no BGA at Herlefeld V2. I don't know anything about V2. I can't open the gates. Could someone please send me a link to my app door trigger? Can't find it. Yeah, I think links were added later, or instructions. Lots of people with problems. Let's see. Hey, when I buy something at the shop and try to take it out, the gate doesn't open. Another script problem. Thanks. And do you know why I can't upload junk? Huh? I don't know what the app means. Maybe a joke. Old administrator, why are the silos already full when I use the BGA add-on? Why, and is at normal? You know, I think there was a point in time when I saw that at 2 when I was trying to get everything all ready to go, and I think it's the function of the script, and I'm trying to remember. I don't know if the BGA script is separate from the script that puts the BGA on the map, if that makes sense. I kind of think they are two separate things. So if you only have the one and not the other, then yeah, the default position is the silo's probably going to appear full. It'll only appear that way, but it doesn't mean it is actually full. It probably just means you're missing the script to actually run the BGA. Here someone says, I have both Herlefeld map DLCs installed, heady scripts, etc. But when I drive to the BGA, the game stutters badly. It's almost unplayable. Once I'm inside, it's fine, but when I turn the camera toward the scales, it stutters again. What can I do about this? You know, we haven't been having that trouble in this session, but I think I mentioned at one point, I don't think I have the scales working. So I'm pretty sure I do have a scale script in there, but it may not be the correct version. I've kind of just ignored it because I don't particularly care about the scales. But I wonder if this person here has the wrong version and it's kicking an error of some kind, you know, that's causing their stutters. Also, the vehicles have no windows or tires just before they drive next to me. I only tested it with standard vehicles, and when I tried to buy a mod, it was black. Oh yeah, brother, you have some mod problems. Maybe it's some other mods that you have that are causing errors in your log. Yeah, a lot of these things are log errors. You know, I remember from the old days in FSUK, old days, wasn't that long ago, but it was very common, you know, if folks, I don't think we've commented on this so far, if folks would have questions or note errors, and they either didn't know what the log file was or never thought to go there to make sure it wasn't popping some errors, or if it was, to figure out, you know, what specifically was causing the error. And with a log file, you really need to start at the top. You know, a lot of times the errors that come later are a result of the errors that came before it. So if you fix the one at the top, you can often take care of some of the ones that come after. But yeah, that's obviously something that would help on a lot of these questions if people would post their log files, or at least look at them. Where are Hetty's BGA scripts? I think there's a link in there now, but yeah, this makes it tough when the links for all the mods you need are all over creation instead of some nice neat package. It makes it tough kind of on the users. Hi, I think the map is great, but I don't know where to get the Josera feed. I don't know what a Josera feed is. Maybe that's something that didn't translate. Let's see, and one more thing, I can't dump silage into the biogas plant. Okay. The map is great. Let's see, I have a problem where the biogas plant is supposed to be. There's a sawmill. Another person with that problem. Do you need the motorway add-on? Nope, you don't need it, but it's kind of cool to have it. This is a really awesome app. Thanks. You can really make a lot of progress there. Nice comment. Have a problem with the cows. When I buy them, they aren't on the pasture. This is really making me curious now, you know, to see what it does when I attempt to buy cows. Let's see. Hi, first of all, nice map, but I have a question. Is it absolutely necessary to include the Audubon add-on, or can it be left out in multiplayer? Yep, don't need it, but it's cool to have. Is there any way to increase the visibility range so that the buildings in the immediate vicinity don't disappear immediately? Yeah, I feel your pain. I think it was put that way for those of us, that have weaker computer systems, so we could still enjoy the map. But yeah, there is. Just gotta open it in the map and fix some of those viewing distances. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Regarding the cows, there's another hidden farm where you can see them. You don't necessarily need the highway add-on. That's all. I hope I could help. Hey, finally a comment in here where someone's answering someone else with some apparently helpful information. That's kind of nice. Alright, so we'll just have to be on the lookout for that. When we get cows, maybe there's another, quote, hidden farm. Let's see, I can't load grain from the silo. What can I do? I know we've talked about the app before. You gotta back it into a storage shed to get it. Awesome map, awesome highway, awesome biogas plant, perfect. Kudos to the modder. This is a top-notch map. I'm just so impressed. I could never have come up with so many ideas, and the textures are brilliantly chosen. That's a nice comment. The app is great, but when I unload the silage at the biogas plant, the tractor goes flying through the air. Maybe that could be improved. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I know we've taken the chopped silage from the field and we've put it into the BGA clamp, but one thing we haven't done yet is take the silage out and then attempt to put it into the BGA. So I can't imagine how that make your tractor go flying. That's kind of reminiscent of the days in Farm Sim 09, where if you had your front loader too low to the ground and you were picking up the bucket, it would throw the tractor into orbit way high up in the air. Sure glad they got that fixed, but yeah, I have no idea what would cause it at the BGA here. Hey guys, one question. Where on the map can I get rid of my bales? Otherwise, great map, keep it up. There's several places, and I didn't know where to take them either. So I had to open the map kind of in, actually I use a text editor. And I open the i3D file to locate all the bale destroyers. There's several of them. You just gotta know where they are. Let's see. Excellent map. Kudos to the modder. Can't find the BGA. Where is it? Yeah, well, maybe that person only sees the lumberyard. Hi, I think the map looks great from the pictures and videos. I just wanted to ask if there's a lot of traffic on the map. I'm gonna download it. Yes, there was plenty of traffic, if I recall correctly, and I think I slowed it down. I think I did something in a script to kind of make it fewer cars. Oh, I already read that side. Trying to get through these pages of notes. I'm probably going to have to make another episode. Hopefully this isn't just boring everybody to tears. I find these comments interesting. It's just interesting looking back on this after over 10 years. Where is the grass silo? Someone asks. Hi, it's me again. First of all, the map is great. I just have one more question. Does anyone know what I could do with the bales? Please reply quickly. Oh yes, don't take your time. You don't have a life. Yeah, we just talked about the bales. Can someone please explain how to install these required mods? It's kind of a recurring theme and problem. Hi, how can I make the wings so that I can also overcharge? Oh, that's interesting. I have no idea what they're talking about. How do I make the wing so I can overcharge? Yeah, don't know what they're talking about. I can't find the BGA. I can't take anything out of the BGA silos. I've covered and uncovered them, but still can't take anything out. Well, we were able to put it in. I guess we'll find out if we're able to get it out. and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to. And if we can't, I'm going to figure out a way. Let's see. Otherwise, it's really the best app on Modhoster. Okay. I can only agree. Your map is awesome. I only have one problem. The link for the map Super Silo isn't working. Nothing happens at all. And I've also tried to go to EIFOK team. I remember the name of that team back in the day. Site probably no longer works. Is it even still there? Any alternative download link? What exactly isn't working if I don't have this trigger? Please reply soon. Yeah, you probably are out of luck. Sorry to say. I don't know if it's a miracle, but now the link... Oh, there's the same person. He replied, I don't know if it's a miracle, but now the link to the trigger in question works. Yeah, probably his internet was down. I have a small problem. I can spread manure without any issues, but I can't plow or harrow it in. I've tried various implements, but unfortunately nothing has worked. Liquid manure works perfectly. Huge praise for this map. I can only say thank you for all the effort you've put in. Yep, we've covered that one before. The lad needs the proper script. Let's see, someone says, I found it. It was a manure spreader from Pro Farm. No idea why. The other original spreaders will work perfectly. Okay. Let's see, this is a great app, except for two minor issues. There's an invisible wall at the end of the highway, which makes it difficult to turn around and get into the other lane. I have the map door trigger, but the gate still doesn't open. I have to drive the tractors through the fence. Now the second one, I understand, he just needs a script. But there's an invisible wall at the end of the highway, which makes it difficult to turn. Why would you drive up there? Yeah, I'm not sure why anyone would drive up there unless he just didn't know that it dead ended. I bet he'll never go up there again. But yeah, with all the trees having collisions, I imagine it would be a booger to turn around, if you get stuck up there. Let's see, this app is absolutely awesome. I have 12 maps, and this is the best of them all. It says, I have a problem. I can't get in a multiplayer. It says, please wait. Game app is being created. Hopefully someone can help me. Yeah, maybe check your server log on that one. The app is awesome, but, oh wait. How do I get into multiplayer? Do I need a mod, or do I have to copy the app somewhere? I hope you can help me as soon as possible. I don't know, I would think multiplayer would work kind of like normal. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll be back again with more comments soon.